Welcome, everyone. I am Kira, and today we are going on a journey that is so dear to my heart, that is so precious. Today, we are sitting at beautiful 12 Hummingbirds Retreat right here. It's our beautiful property, that which I have had the blessing of being the custodian of for the past 9 years. And today, we are expanding consciousness. How are we doing that? Well, we're doing that through a case for conscious awareness itself. What is that case? Well, that case actually has risen over the 9 years that I've had the blessing of living here in Oswai, Ecuador, which is one of the departments, that this modern mysticism, this indigenous wisdom of the Kenyari people, has been a true blessing and a true moment of holding illumination on our planet. So today, I want to welcome you to this sacred valley. I want to welcome you to this little Shangri-La that at 7,500 feet in the Andes Mountains, we're tropical, where snow doesn't exist, where it's literally that story of walking out of the freezing cold mountain into the warmth. That is this magical mountain. And this magical mountain has been continually inhabited by the Kenyari people. And who are the Kenyari? You know, often when I speak about where I live, people say to me, well, Kira, you know, what about the Inca, or what about the Mayan, or any of those? Well, let me just offer you a 2-second clarification, because this case for conscious awareness, through my personal experience of living with the Highland Mila in Lake Atitlan for 7 years, I lived among the Ketchikel. I still speak Ketchikel. It has been a powerful moment of learning. And this case for conscious awareness is woven through so much indigenous wisdom through the ones who carry the modern mysticism of those traditions. And so first and foremost, the Mayan were not in Ecuador, okay? The Mayan, their range did not come into this part of South America at all. So the Mayan were never part of this experience here. Now, most people, when they think about it, they think about the Inca Empire, especially when you go down into Peru. But here in this beautiful center of the world, heart of the world, Ecuador, there's a different story. And this is where, after having had the blessing of living among so many different indigenous cultures and being accepted by so many indigenous cultures, that this case for conscious awareness, this indigenous wisdom and modern mysticism collides with right now. Now, what do I mean by collides with right now? I mean, literally collides with the moment that we are in. As you and I are sitting here, as we are in this gorgeous, and I'm just sending you the fresh air from here and the beautiful, brilliant blue skies and lack of air traffic and literally clear skies all the time and brilliant stars and lots of nighttime activity. Sending you all of that. I want you to breathe into your heart and feel the gift of your own illumination. I want you to begin to remember that which you are, because this is the case for conscious awareness. How is this case being woven among all of these different cultures? Well, let me first begin by inviting you to relax into your own state of being, your own sense of knowing, to just relax into the light that I am as you are. Really nice deep Ave saw breath, right? Going up with the nose, Ave. Exhaling with a smile, and really inviting that to just relax. And as you relax, as you release your breath, I want to first teach you who the Kenyari are, and then how this intersection came through, and the story for today. The reason why, as we are being bombarded with tech, as we are being bombarded with AI, as we are being bombarded with more and more ways that we are very, very quickly giving up our greatest ability to be, there is a story that helps us remember this case for conscious awareness. And in my 9 years of living among the indigenous here in Ecuador, I live in a very indigenous valley and was the first non-indigenous person to live here with Sri Ramka. And these people accepted us. So who are the Kenyari? And it's C-A-N-Y, the little Enya on top, A-R-I, if you want to learn more about them. So the Kenyari are the indigenous people who are indigenous to Oswai and Kenyar here in Ecuador. And I live in Osway, really right on the border of the two, deep in the heart of this beautiful country where these people have been from and have continually inhabited for thousands and thousands of years. And their name is derived from two words, the con, which is the snake, right? Which is creation, which is that rising serpiente. And you see this mythology, you see this utilization in many, many different cultures, this beautiful snake. And in their world, the con, the snake, blended with the aura, the macaw, the wakamaya, that beautiful, beautiful blue and gold parrot, and that gorgeousness of the Kanara became the Kenyari. And one of their greatest oral traditions, and I have film of this that I pray one day I'll be able to finish into this documentary, because their tradition is of a massive flood. Sound familiar? And this is part of their creation story. And similar to very much the Bible and Gilgamesh, according to their myth and the way that they teach it, this giant flood occurred. Everyone perished except these two brothers who made it up to the top of the tallest mountain. And when the flood subsided, they returned to where their home, their hut had been. And to their surprise, not only was it perfectly intact, it was stocked with everything they would have needed to survive. And it was prepared with food. And every day when they would return, it was prepared with food. And what happened was that as these miracles kept happening, as they were being supported to stay alive, they eventually learned that it was two female macaws, two female beings, feminine beings that had bird heads, that had macaw heads, and that they were making this food. And so one of the brothers took the younger of these two beings as his wife. And that was how the world was repopulated. And so this is a powerful story, and it's a reminder. It's a reminder that we all share this common mystical knowing, that this conscious awareness goes through and transcends all of our backgrounds, all of our religious traditions. There is this common thread of knowing. It's as if there is just this beautiful sense of soul essence, this seed of conscious awareness itself. And this is why this indigenous wisdom becomes so important. And so this is where I want to share a story with you. I want to invite you to really relax and just receive this story, because when I first moved here years ago, Shri and I were very, very blessed. And because of our very deep relationship with the mystical ones of the Kenyari tribes and the blessings that we have had being invited to their homes so many times and being walked upon on sacred land and hearing these stories, there are two very powerful sites. One of them is called Ingapirka. And we are so blessed to live so close to Ingapirka and to have incredible access to Ingapirka. And if you don't know what Ingapirka is, many people call it the Machu Picchu of Ecuador. Only here's the difference. It is the only feminine temple that was ever constructed in the entire Incan world, and it was originally a Kenyari temple and the only female Kenyari temple. And all that has ever been discovered there are priestesses, and the temple itself is an egg. And this beautiful feminine temple has many different patterns and cosmic connections to the original seeding of this planet. It is a very, very sacred site. It is high in the Andes Mountains, and I would love to personally take you there because the magic there is extraordinary. So you begin with these people, the Kenyari. That the two together, that when you take the bird and the snake becomes the people of light, the people of illumination, the people of creation. So they cherish light, they follow light, they understand light. And then from there you have this creation egg-shaped temples in the center of this planet. Feel your hands already illuminating? I know that you are. And then there was another site. So you have where I am here, Tosa Blue Mountain, which is at 12hummingbirdsretreat.com. So you have 12 Hummingbirds Retreat, this temple, which is an acknowledged temple of light by the Kenyari people, and standing on the only feminine mountain. The name of this mountain is called Jinkir, and they believe that my name as Kira was part of what called this here, because they have acknowledged me as the temple keeper of this mountain. And I would love to show you this mountain and the archaeological sites that are here. And so you have the Temple of Light here on a female mountain, Jinkir. You have the beautiful, incredible Ingapirka experience, and then you have Chobshi. And this is where I want you to settle in with your favorite beverage, light a candle, and I want to share a story, because this story was shared to me by a beautiful Kenyari gentleman who left us when COVID came to the planet. And I was very honored to have known him and to be part of the caretaking of the museum there and the sacred artifacts, and to be able to have filmed all of this before his early transition, before all of the black marketeers came in and robbed that museum. And so this is a moment where I want you to hear this story. And I want to share it with you exactly the way Hernan taught it to me, in honor of his life carrying this beautiful lineage of the Kenyari, and for his gift of transmitting it to me, showing me the sacred sites in Chobshi that I can show you, showing me things that had to be passed down through tradition rather than put into other ways. So the name of this story is the story of Cacique Duma. Cacique, C-A-C-I-Q-U-E, Cacique, is the Quechua word for king or ruler. Duma was the actual first name of this ruler. And there's a whole beautiful story about how Cacique Duma was installed as the one who was going to be the negotiator, the one who was going to be the one who carried forward. And something that many people don't know is that the Inca only ever occupied Ecuador for 73 years before they were immediately crushed by the Spanish. And so it's interesting that the Kenyari have been here for thousands of years, and they are still here now. Why? Well, here's Cacique Duma. Cacique Duma at Chobshi, and this is an extraordinary site that I look forward to showing you in person, and where the caves are with all of the ascended ones. It's an extraordinary journey. Cacique Duma built Chobshi basically as their fort, as their lookout, as the stronghold. And it, of course, like many forts, becomes its own thriving community, and many things are happening there. And the first time that the Inca came, they repelled them without any problem. And they were able to hold firm. They were able to resist the Incan. They were never able to conquer the Kenyari people, and so they left. Well, during that time, runners between these tribes were finding out that, spies looking down south in Peru, that the Incan was amassing this huge army that they were putting together to, just everybody they could conquer and conquest, all in retaliation to come back up and conquer the Kenyari people. And Cacique Duma is watching this, and he's aware of this, and he's knowing the threat to his people. And this story reminds me so much of the Bhagavad Gita. It's just such that beautiful story of wisdom and higher conscious awareness calling in our indigenous presence, that modern mysticism. Why? Because during that time of becoming aware that an invincible army would soon confront his people, Cacique Duma had to set aside the ego. He had to set aside that which would be his own sense of bravado or testosterone testing or whatever it would be. And instead, he gazed out among all of his people, and he sat with the wisdom and the forevision of his father's father's father and his children's 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 children, of how to continue this, to expand, how as people of light, as light itself, we would continually expand. And so during this time of negotiation, Cacique Duma did things that were unheard of, including sending his own children as hostages to try and earn the trust and to show his sincerity, love, and presence, right? The essence of all miracles: sincerity, love, presence, essence of all miracles. And so as Cacique Duma is weaving this beautiful field of sincerity, love, and presence, as he is coming together in the spirit of true diplomacy, of true negotiation, the Incan arrive, the day comes, and they arrive up to Chobshi. And it is that sea of destruction. And in that moment, just as in the Bhagavad Gita, Cacique Duma and the leader of the Inca meet in the middle of the battlefield, and the negotiation was completed. And that's how the city of Cuenca was born, the beautiful UNESCO World Heritage city that I'm only 40 minutes outside of. The city that has all these beautiful rivers. And that's why this city was born there, because of the intersection of the flow of the rivers. Because there's always going to be the wedding of the daughter of the Kenyari to, of course, the king of the Inca. And this is how this civilization started becoming more aware, more unified, more tolerant. How does this impact the consciousness of now? Are we not at a moment when it is our wisdom and our diplomacy and our ability to see beyond this moment that will determine our future? In this moment, right now, the case for conscious awareness is for you to remember who you are beyond all doubt. I live in a clay house. It is basically a Faraday cage. I'm blessed to live among incredibly pure air. I'm blessed to be among the birds and the rivers. I breathe that in every day. And I invite you to breathe in every day that which reminds you that you are not a computer model, that your brain is carrying the capacity and the ability to keep up if you apply conscious awareness. And that's why I'm doing everything I can. Subscribe right here to this YouTube channel. Please visit iamkira.net. Join me twice a month on Transformational Tuesday. Expand your consciousness. Be there the first Sunday of every month as I offer you guidance for that month and co-create. Together we are better. In this moment right now, is it not the indigenous wisdom? Is not the story of Cacique Duma something for us to look at? As right now, the Kenyari people are flourishing and they are still on this planet, but the Inca are not. Let us learn from our elders. Let us ignite our conscious awareness. Let us remember that the case for our conscious awareness began with the perennial philosophies as far as documenting in this field of potentiality that we're remembering back in the 1st century BC when it was done. We're just catching up and we're ready. I love you and I look forward to being with you again next Tuesday. Every week when a new episode drops of Expanding Consciousness, make sure you get into the library, learn about everything that we're talking about, because my sole intention for this podcast, for this broadcast, for Expanding Consciousness is to simply leave a record so that at some point when you're ready, you will be able to connect and remember you are not alone. You are not crazy. You're waking up outside of the dream that is seeking you to forget. You can make it through. Please, at this YouTube channel, go watch the erase technique. Just type in erase at my YouTube channel. I am Kira as you are. Erase. Learn the technique. If you use it, you're going to be surprised at how quickly you're going to expand. I love you, and I am honored to be with you. From the gorgeousness here in the Andes Mountains at 12 Hummingbirds Retreat to your nirvana, I am Kira, loving you. Many blessings.